So it is kind of stressful for us, especially when it comes to money. And then we are worried, 24/7. We are worried about our installment, especially
Mm.
our installment, all this. But thank God we have enough emergency funding. That's why I keep on emphasizing on the emergency funding. Yeah, that's why, because I went through it. I do not want others to experience this kind of feeling, uncertainty.
This week, we celebrate the International Women's Day, IWD 2021. And I would like to dedicate this whole episode to celebrate the greatness of women. I'm sure we all have important women in our life that have made a huge contribution or differences to our life story so far. For me, it is definitely my mother, my wife, and I have many aunts, all of them, including my cousins. And of course, I definitely hope that one day I'll have a daughter as well. There is a term, namely motherhood penalty. This argues that in the workplace, working mother tends to have to deal with perceived incompetency, lower pay, and also other disadvantages. At the same time, for women who are single and have no plans to enter motherhood, they also will have to encounter their fair share of challenges and biases. The theme for this year's International Women's Day is Choose to Challenge. And here I am, Choose to Challenge, to cover a topic that can be close to the heart of many of us and specifically zoom in on how it is related to women. I have invited a guest to share with us on the topic of triple F, financial freedom for female. Before we dive deep into this topic, let me introduce to you our guest. She is a CFP, Certified Financial Planner professional. She is also a holder of Islamic Financial Planner, IFP certificate, a wife, a mother, a daughter. She's also a strong believer in comprehensive financial planning and that money should be associated to life every time we mention money so that we can give meaning to it. She actively shares her knowledge and engage with people on her LinkedIn profile. And in fact, she's quite influential in a way, if you ask me. She is Miss Vivian Chin. I will share the link of her LinkedIn profile in the show note. But for now, let us go into the conversation. Hey, Vivian, can you share with us what is the meaning of financial freedom for you?
Actually, financial freedom is very subjective to individual. So means that for me, financial freedom will be no more worries about my daughter's education fund, everything, and then I have sufficient of fund for my retirement. I can spend whatever I can and can travel around. I can sleep peacefully at night. That will be a financial freedom for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what I hear is that financial freedom generally means that when I don't have to worry about money, when I can sleep soundly and money is not a reason that I woke up suddenly and then uh, all the important things that I want to do, I know that
Yes.
it will be taken care of, then I should say that I have achieved financial freedom.
Yes.
And financial freedom means different thing to different people because not everyone has a daughter like you. Some may have other important things.
Yeah.
So how do one person find out what does financial freedom means to the person?
So means that they need to know, is there any sufficient, let's say they have an objective or even a life goals, when they want to retire or when they want to have this sufficient funds. So you need to know what's your, what sort of your long-term goal, what kind of lifestyle you wanted in the future. That this is what I see that. So you need to plan on that part. And then you need someone to advise you on this.
Mm, so for us to find out what does it mean to be financially free, we have to also know what we want and what kind of lifestyle, whether super comfortable or
Yes.
just okay or frugal.
Yes.
And then
Yes.
of course, what are the important goals that we want to achieve.
Yes.
And let's
Yeah.
say an individual have already understood all these things, how does this individual can take the first step to pursue financial freedom?
Perhaps they can seek for advice from from the professional, especially from the licensed financial planner, because there's a lot of so-called financial planners out there, but they might using the wrong way to plan for you, or even using the wrong strategy to plan for your future. So you should look for that, and then know that what kind of objective you want. That is the most important thing. This is your dreams that you desire for your future. Yeah.
Mm. So you are a believer of getting professional help, but also
Yes.
there are other people who believe that maybe I would prefer to do it myself, or we call that DIY. So for people like that, do you have any suggestion for them as far as first step is concerned?
Yeah, I heard there's a lot of people like to do DIY, and then they like to seek for, or even Google from the ways how to plan for financial plan. So, but before you do it, no, why don't you go and seek for a professional? Again, I very emphasize on that. You need to seek for a professional advice first before you start to do your DIY. It's there's no I don't prevent you to do it a DIY plan, but at least you take some advice from the professional first before you start on a plan. Yeah.
Mm. So I mean, it's important we know where we want to go, but after we have found out our direction, we should also understand what vehicle we are driving now and what are
Yes.
the best option available for us. And after we all know all these things, if we want to continue to drive by ourselves, by all means, that is something that you think is viable, right? And
Yes.
I recently read something about Google information. We can find a lot of pieces of the puzzle, but is the value is in how to put all the pieces together to form the picture that you're looking for. So maybe just very good advice. Just get a professional opinion first to know what are our options, and then only we look at what are the first step or next step is that we have. And then
Yes.
what do you think it will be the key thing that individuals should pay attention to when they try to pursue their financial freedom?
Well, for me, my personal view or point that they should emphasize on the long term goal, especially on the retirement, especially to Malaysian, because most of the Malaysian do not have a long term goal, which is their retirement, even a short term goal, which is their emergency funding. As you know, Kevin, there's about like 67% of them don't even have enough of emergency funding. They can't even take out 1,000 on that.
Mm,
That's very crucial. So, no, before you start with the long-term plan, why don't you start with a short-term first, and then you start to build up your emergency funding for that. Yeah.
okay. So before we start to be adventurous, we try to make sure we have covered our back. Is that
Yes.
your
Yes.
your main
Especially,
suggestion,
yeah.
right?
Yeah, especially during this pandemic, so there's a lot of people. There's so much of people losing their job, or even uncertainty on their career. So yeah, you should look into that, especially on emergency funding. Yeah.
Mm. And especially during time like this when people, let's say, like they lost their job or they have a very steep pay cut, it could actually not just impact their financial health, it can also bring tremendous stress towards their mental wellness.
Yes.
uh, can you explain to us how does money can relate to our mental wellness?
Yeah, because it happened to my husband before, not during this pandemic. It's a few years back. So he was retrenched. It's really a burden for us, because suddenly he's lost his job, and he's the sole breadwinner. Not sole breadwinner. He's they're bringing the most income in the
Main
family.
income
Yeah,
contributor.
yeah. So it's kind of stressful for us, especially when it comes to money. And then we are worried, 24/7. We are worried about our installment, especially
Mm.
our installment, all this. But thank God we have enough emergency funding. That's why I keep on emphasizing on the emergency funding. Yeah, that's why, because I went through it. I do not want others to experience this kind of feeling, uncertainty, and then there's no the worries. that you worry like 24 hours about that. Yeah.
That will be very painful to go through the whole process,
Yes.
very torturing.
Yeah, very
And
torturing.
and from what you shared, lucky for you guys, things these are all behind you now. And
Yes.
from it's very important you share this, because now I hear that, right, I relate to the importance of emergency fund towards our success rate to achieve our financial freedom, because it's like the first step, the first ticket that we must have if we want to be financially free, is to and at least make sure we have savings and do not contribute to the statistic of not able to come up with 1,000
Yes.
to handle
Yeah.
emergency.
Yeah, that I really do not want my client or even people out there who we know that they are included in that statistic. This is very
Mm,
crucial because having like in the line of our job, we can meet a lot of people. They don't even have emergency, but in their mind they keep on thinking about investment.
mm,
You don't even have enough for emergency. How can you start with your long-term plan? Yeah, yeah. In,
very, very real. I support this point of view also. Maybe it's also timely that I want to ask you something else. I just saw from Facebook group 2 days ago, there was someone who is moderating the group, actually sharing his view on emergency fund. So what this person said is that he do not really support the idea of having emergency fund. In fact, he shared with people, if he keep emergency fund, that means his money is not working hard for him. So he would rather, if he really has emergency, he would rather borrow money from people and also to sell his investment. What do you think about method like this?
Um, well, for my personal point of view, again, I do not agree with him or her opinion on that. Because emergency funding means that something trigger, like maybe tomorrow or maybe in a week of time, something happen. So I don't know if you say that you wanted to sell off your investment, but that investment is your main objective to save up for the investment is for your children education and your retirement, that it will be effect on your children education. And then it also takes time is for you to sell off all the investment, right? So it doesn't make sense at all. So it's good that you can talk to your advisor on how to build out all on your emergency funding, expect at least 3 months. If you can't, you just save it. Maybe you start with a habit of doing some regular saving. Don't ever like sell off like your retirement of the purpose for your retirement or even your children education, because it only can solve your short-term issue, but it won't help you in long term. So it's very crucial that you need to save up for your emergency. Yeah.
Okay, so I guess this method, while it works for this person, but it's not actually going to work for everyone, and not everyone can afford to just keep 0.7 months of emergency fund, and at least 3 months is what you really suggested, right? Especially
Yeah.
during time like this, we won't even
Yes.
know whether the vaccine will work or not, whether the economy
Yes.
will really rebound strongly or not.
Yes.
So, it's
Yes.
sometimes it's just better to be safe than sorry.
Yes, yeah, but eventually, the important thing is the client or even people out there, just build out the saving habits. To start with that first. You can't save it like maybe 100, maybe you save up with 50 ringgit or even 5 ringgit. It's
Mm.
good enough. Just build up the habits on that. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes you might have seen people who have come to you as a financial planner. Sometimes clients do not know what they want to do, but there are also some people who have a good list of goals they want to achieve. But when you
Yeah.
review their habit and whether they save or not, sometimes you do find that they actually got a lot of goals, but they don't really, their actions do not back up to what they say they want to do, right? That means they
Yeah.
are not really
Yeah.
saving money.
Yeah, so that's the tough part for us as a financial planner. We need to coach them. I mean, talks, tell them what's giving them some scenario, let them see the big picture there. So at least they see and then they know, what will happen if they save up, what will happen they don't save up. We should do that so that they have a better idea on that.
Hmm. All right. So I agree to this. It's very important that we help people to see the bigger picture. Sometimes if we keep on covering our short-term issue, we may not have time to think about the long-term plan that we want for ourselves.
Yes,
Okay.
exactly.
So having said that, right, when it comes to pursuing financial freedom, do you think for women it will be actually women will have some specific challenges that only unique to women?
Yes, Kevin, very, very challenging because especially like me myself, because no, I graduate in my 20s. I started to work in my 20s, and then I get married because I married very young. Then after that, I have my first child, and I stopped working. You know, so when I come back to work again, it's already some time already. So when it's time for me to save up for my retirement, it takes really a longer time. It's a very challenging because in between I need to allocate some money for my children pula. So it also affected my retirement. And because and then the other thing would be what happened is my father, he has stroke. That this kind of situation, this kind of sudden event that happened, it really challenged me, especially when coming to save money, especially for my retirement, for my dream, for my desired life in later on. So that's why I kept on emphasizing on emergency funding, because especially if things happen, just like what I mentioned just now, like my father sudden he had a stroke, so I need money, to pay for his expenses. So yeah, it is really a challenges, especially for a mother lah, because you need to take care of your children, you take care of your work some more. So yeah, it's a tough job, really. Yeah.
So on one side, because you married young, so that means you can actually relieve your duty to care for your children and worry about their education fund earlier lah.
Yeah, it's true. Earlier, but my retirement will be affected because I'm saving for them, but not my retirement. When
Mm,
it's time for me to save up for my retirement, then happened to my father pula. Then my father has stroke, so I need to allocate some retirement fund for my dad. So that will it is already affected my retirement fund. So
mm.
now I have to save up again. No.
Okay, so because you in order to provide for your children, you had to take a break from work, and
Mm,
that will have reduced your ability to prepare for your own retirement. And when you came back to start to fight for your own retirement, some other events actually happened, and this time,
yes.
unfortunately, your father got sick. And is that really like a cultural thing that daughters are expected to actually care more for our own parents than when it's son? Do you think that is there a
Yeah,
bias?
actually, it's depending like individual, right? But because I'm the only child, the
Oh,
whole responsible is on me. So I have to take care of my dad and my mom. So that, yeah. So it's a very tough journey. I mean, tough time for me, especially and like 4 years ago. No, sorry, it's 10 years ago. So it's really a tough thing for me, lah. Yeah.
it's not easy when any of our own family members is sick. But I think for my personal opinion, I think as a daughter, sometimes daughters are more sensitive towards the need of the parents, and therefore we try to really provide the best that we can, even
Yes.
including our time, our resources. And
Yes.
I only hope that all the parents in the world are healthy, so that we as the children, we don't have to worry a lot. But this in reality, this is not going to be happening. So we should come back to us, what can we prepare and what can we
Yes,
control about it,
yes,
right?
yes. That's why I keep on emphasizing on emergency funding on that part, because you do not really know what will happen. So thank
Mm,
God for that. We are prepared, because especially our parents already prepared for us. That I believe that our parents are the pioneer of financial planner. Because in the early years they kept on emphasizing on, you have to save up for emergency. So it kept on, this idea already in my mind. So I was like preparing for that, but sometimes whether is it enough or not, that's the issue here. Yeah.
mm. But I think it's better than totally unprepared, isn't it?
Yes. Yes.
So
Yes.
if to prepare on certain things like this, it's better we start to prepare early than later. But
Mm.
at the same time, right, especially if let's say young people, so for example, we are talking about women, right? Young women, do they like have other needs that they want to take care of, shorter needs that will actually like fight with them on how to allocate their money? Do you have any advice or suggestion to people on how they should allocate their money, especially when it started young now?
Yeah, okay. So for young women, I noticed that nowadays, most of the young women, they know what they want. They really are good at of planning for their future. Just that they need to start on that. Maybe you can start on certain like small step first. Allocate some of the money for your needs. Maybe some of them like to travel, so they can allocate for that. And then also another thing would be they will some of them would like to further their education, so they can allocate for the education as well. So start with a small step first. Whatever your desired life, maybe in 5 years or 10 years, just start on that step first. So this is what I see that, but they're really good on that now. For so long I met on some of the young lady out there. Yeah.
So the first thing to do is, of course, to save up emergency fund,
Yeah.
and second is to cultivate a good habit of savings money. Is that what you're saying?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. What about the need to say also prepare like medical safety net, uh, pro- protect their own savings through insurance or takafu?
Yes, that also very important. I came across with one lady. She's very emphasized. She's very emphasize on her protection, because she know that if anything happened to her, the insurance will help her out. So that she won't fork out from her own personal saving on that part. So yes, you need to do that, because especially you are young, you know. So especially for young lady, in the future we do not know what will happen, because as you know, lady got a lot of problem one. So a lot of issue. So yeah, we need to start with when you are young and you are healthy. Yeah.
Mm. So, so that means if you mentioned one phrase that I think very important, your client who had the insurance planning done, right? You said
Yeah.
she got no need to worry about any things that could happen. So that actually ties back very well to the definition of financial freedom you shared with me just now, to have no
Mm-hmm.
worry that is due
Yes.
to money. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
and I think people also are curious. In the market, there are a lot of insurance product that is specifically for ladies. Do you think these products are something people should actually consider?
Oh yeah, there's a lot product. Then some of them were asking whether is it suitable for us. Yeah. Actually, you should look for professional opinion first before you go and purchase the products. Let the profession to look into that, to see whether your protection needs is it sufficient. You don't simply just buy it because you need it. You need to know how much you need to know for the protection needs. Yeah, you need to seek for the professional help first.
Also, more important maybe is to get opinion on how we should balance the commitment on insurance premium against our other goals, so that you don't end up paying a lot of your income to insurance premium, and then in the end of the day you have very little ability to save for your other goals. Then in the end of the day, it's
Yes.
like we work so hard for what, just to
Yeah.
be safe. I think we should also learn to have fun while we are trying to protect our bottom lines, right?
Yeah. Correct.
Okay.
You are right.
Very good sharing, Vivian. So I just want to
Thank you.
tap your brain a little bit, right? For a woman who is married and have to juggle multiple responsibility, for example, have to work also as a daughter, as a wife, as a mother, so many responsibilities. What will be the common challenges faced by this group of women when they try to pursue their financial freedom?
The challenges will be, you need to take care of yourself first. Take care of your health, your wealth, and your wealth. So then you can take care of others. Think about yourself first. Yeah, because
Hmm.
we need to take care others. Yeah.
So, how do you suppose one should take care of herself in like? Is there any tips for that?
Eat healthy,
Eat
love yourself
healthy,
more. Yes,
love
love
yourself more.
yourself more. Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Does it
Don't.
include to allocate more, we say, me time for herself?
Yes, me time for yourself, especially sometimes you work hard, you need to acknowledge yourself. Buy yourself a good meal or even a nice dress for yourself, just to acknowledge yourself. Yeah, enjoy your life.
Okay. What about, let's say, woman who is actually full-time housewife? Uh, does that mean that they will be very difficult for them to have financial freedom because in a way their financial picture is actually relying on the main income earner of the family?
Yeah, no, not really. They can share, with their husband, have a talk with them, because this is both of them. They have their responsibility to take care of their family. So they need to sit down and plan for that, and then even talk about their future, so that they can build up a healthy and a healthy family, so that if anything happen in the future, at least they have something to protect on. Yeah,
Mm.
yeah, it doesn't mean that you can't do anything. You still can do it. Yeah.
So the first step is to have an honest and transparent conversation with the spouse.
Yes.
And is it because it's important to establish mutual respect to acknowledge the contribution of the full-time housewife to the family?
Yes, it's very important because I see a lot of now couples, before they get married, they don't even discuss about their financial, and then they marry, and then they find out there's a lot of issue, and then they end up divorce, like one of my clients there. So it's advisable, before you get married, sit down and then you talk about your financial, and then what kind of desired lifestyle, desired life that both of you would like to have in the future. Yeah.
Talk about the dreams that they want
Yes.
to build together, then
Yes.
look at their resources and also their
Yes,
habits, so that at least we get to know in advance.
yes, yes, yes. Before you get into into marriage commitment, yeah,
Mm.
yeah,
I think this is because each of us have a very unique experience in how we grow up, and how we grow up, our childhood will teach us a lot of value and lessons about money, and therefore the way you like that, maybe another, my wife would prefer totally avoid that as much as possible, but maybe my growing up is that, hey, it's not bad to use that, if you can actually pay for it. So having a conversation like that will actually help to minimize friction or
yes,
disagreement between the husband and wife in the later stage. And of
yeah,
course, talk about the goals will help in establishing common goals, lah, right?
yes, yes, yes,
Uh, can I also share, like, I think even though it's a full-time housewife, there's actually a lot of economic value that is contributed. Just imagine if we don't have a full-time mother at home, we have to hire maid to do a lot of things. I think we can calculate back like how much do we have to spend, right? So in a way, it's
yes,
an indirect salary or
yes,
savings.
yes. Yeah, yeah. There are some of the housewife, even though some of her husband, they gave her some of the money expenses, and then even though they have some, they spend on the children, or even they even can save out, part of 10% of it. That is very good. I see that before. There's one housewife, even she can use up the money and then pay off all the tuition fee and all the expenses, but she still can save up 10% of it and then put it aside. So this is a part of like a family emergency funding. Yeah.
She's a very good money manager.
Yes, yes, you can say that. That's why there's a lot of people saying that, husband, like, especially husband, they say that we are the financial controller. Lah.
Because I think in a way it's more disciplined and also can stand firm on to say no to temptation or some wants. Uh, so it's important we talk about that, and so that we know how money in the family will be spent and how it will be allocated to all the dreams that the husband and wife want for their own family.
Yes.
Uh, and then, as I know, the husband can also elect to have 2% of their EPF contribution allocated to
To
the
the
wife.
wife. Yes.
Do you think it's a good thing to do? Is it
Yeah.
enough?
Actually, there's no, at least you allocate some 2%, or even lesser than that is okay. At least she saves up. Because what I noticed that husband tend to not that every husband now, somehow husband tend to use up the money to buy certain things or even spend on things that not necessary. So yeah, why not? Or 1 or 2% allocate to the wife, so that the wife will be the what always people say, that wife will be the financial controller. Let that control the 2%. Maybe allocate for the family emergency funding, or maybe for the children, or even for the anything else. Yeah.
So 2% is a good place to start. It's better than before this, right? It's a
Yeah.
0% contributed, or
Yes.
it's upfront cash. And this cash,
Yes.
because women are so good at savings money and so disciplined, sometimes it becomes the emergency fund. Actually, that money should have become her own financial freedom fund, but because women, because maybe of hormone, very loving, very treat the family as a core. So sometimes when emergency, the woman will say, never mind lah, I have savings, so I will contribute. So in a
Yes.
way, it doesn't help the women to prepare for their own financial freedom. It's just a natural instinct of being a
Yes,
woman,
yes,
isn't
yeah.
it?
It's just like what happened to me. I mean, 2 years ago, because of certain things happen, then I need to take up some of the money. So my husband asked me, "Hey, we already used up all the emergency funding." I say, "No, we still have some emergency funding."
You have
So yeah,
emergency fund for emergency fund.
yes, 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 yes. So yeah,
So this is very important instinct to have.
you never know, right?
Yeah. And for some who are single, there are also women who choose to be single as a lifestyle. As far as lifestyle is
Mm,
concerned, they choose to remain
mm,
single.
mm.
For people who are from this group, would there be any additional challenges on top of what we have discussed just now
Yeah,
in the pursuit
for
for financial
yeah,
freedom?
yeah. What I see that they tend to save a lot because they worry about their future, because they are single. So maybe when they grow old, there's no one who taking care of them. So they will worry about that, and then so they tend to allocate some money for that, especially when during like maybe illness happen. So they can use that money to for the medical expenses, or even allocate some of the money for them to stay in the old folks home.
Mm,
Yeah, this is how they allocate it. So
this
because
is
some
quite
of my
long-term thinking,
yes,
or
yes, this is what I allocate some of the money for my client, especially for those like single. They tend to worry about their future, and then some they don't even they if they don't have that, we try to trigger them out. Because you are single, no one will take care of you. So you need to take care. You need to think about that. Yeah.
okay, so you help them to foresee something that could happen later when they currently still do not see that lah.
Yes.
So
Yes.
it's like
Yes.
you help them to discover their blind spot, and so that they can do something about it today.
Yeah, yeah. Because some of single lady would like to have those, yeah, what they call you live once, you spend all. But they don't see that if anything happen in the future, what will happen? Who will who will take care of them? So this is very important. Yeah.
And once you help them to see this blind spot, what will their normal reaction be? Do they say like, oh yeah, I never thought of that, and then they proceed to plan for this?
Yeah, some of them, yes, they will follow on that. Some of them, they try to build up the habits to save up for that. So, but at least they try lah. So I can see that there's some improvement lah. We still have to work on that part. Yeah.
Oh, it's always good to see improvement. And if we were on our own, I guess that sometimes this blind spot will remain blinded to us forever until when things happen, it might have been too late already.
Yep.
So you did a very important work out there for your clients. Must applaud you for that.
Okay, thank you.
Apart from that, so that does it mean that for women who are single, right, they will have to, apart from planning for their own financial freedom and to be comfortable, they also have to plan for their financial security.
Yes, I do agree on that part. They need to do that because especially they are single. So by having this at least in the future, let's say old age, they have some sufficient fund for that. There's no one beside them. Beside
Mm,
her, so they need that. How many years that the fund can sustain them? That also they need to find out also. Yeah. So at least
mm.
they have buffer of the money lah. Right.
And when you say that, I just thought of what you said before this, right? So that means they should, apart from planning on money, they should also consider planning for a very healthy lifestyle so that we can reduce the chances of us getting unwell, sick, and also enjoy our time now also, right?
Yeah, yeah, because they tend to have that lifestyle. We, as a financial planner, we need to trigger them out, because you are single, you need to take care of yourself, health, and your wealth. Yeah.
Mm, that as a result of that, when you have done all this, then you will not have to worry about money, and that is how it fits back to the definition of financial freedom you just shared with us.
Yes. Yes.
Very
Yes.
nice. Okay. And then Vivian, I know you have shared a lot with us already, but I just want to know, is there any general advice that you have for women who is currently trying very hard to pursue and achieve their financial freedom?
Oh, okay. Don't give up. Try a very every day. Try a small step. If you do not know how to start with it, seek for professional help. Ask for advice. How to start on it, or even how to put in the strategy to help you to achieve your financial goal. Yeah.
Hmm. Okay, very easy to do advice. Uh, so hopefully the listeners out here and the viewers will just sometimes we think that things are too easy. We don't believe that it will work, but actually the things that really work are actually simple things that are easy to do.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just a very small step. You just do start with a small step first.
Hmm. It's all baby steps. Don't wait until everything is perfect, right?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And Vivian, I know we are talking about financial freedom, but there are a group of women, unfortunately, for example, some women may be a victim to a domestically violent relationship. And to them, it could be very hard, very difficult for them to even plan for tomorrow, let alone financial freedom. What would you suggest to people like this group of women in order to untie or escape from such a situation?
Yeah, do you mean that they're still with the husband, or
Yeah,
they
they are still
already?
with the partner and who is
Yeah,
abusing them, and
yeah,
it can be very stressful, very difficult
yeah,
to bear with, but they are still stuck there. Is there
yeah.
anything that they can do to help themselves to unstuck from there or escape from such a relationship?
Yeah, Kevin, I'm very sorry to hear about that. Some of the women, yeah, they are in this situation. And my advice is, go perhaps that you can go for help, especially to those like women's aid organization, WAO, that provide shelter and even can take care of the children whenever they are going out for work. And then the second step, maybe you can save up some of the money, for your own, so that if anything happen, you can use that money. That's it. The third step, if you can, it's advisable that you can report to the authority so that they can
Mm.
help you out on that. But the first thing that you need to take care of yourself first, save out some money first, because you need that when or when everything over, you need to start up or over again. Yeah.
Because sometimes it's not just physically abuse. The abuser may actually abuse the person through financial means, by not buying, not giving money, not giving food. So I guess that's why you suggest to people to ensure they have savings. And we can see throughout the conversation, the very main thing is that we must have savings, because without savings, how to talk about freedom, right? But of course, the first step is that they must think about their future. Do they want this situation to continue? And if they look at brighter side, what are the things that they should do, and think about, like you say, the first step, the baby step, right? And it's
Yeah.
important to have savings. Otherwise, it's very difficult for us to be free, to try to fly away when our wings are tied down by not having savings.
Now, when you come out from this situation, you need to be very strong on that part. Be strong on that, especially emotionally. I know that and financially you will be affected a lot, because I think some of them not even working, or even they work, but most of their money are like was like take by their husband or even others people, right? So first thing you need to take care of yourself first, yeah, on that part, especially emotionally, yeah, and then seek for advice on that part.
Okay.
Yep.
Thank you very much, Vivian. You share with us a lot of golden nuggets, and I'm sure a lot of listeners they can actually pick up some good points to start to pursue, to help them to get closer to their financial freedom. Before we end the conversation, is there anything that you want to add on?
Yeah, just love yourself more, be strong, if you are in any situation, um, yeah, take care of yourself, yeah.
Very timely message, because a lot of time we too busy to think about others, we forgot to be kind to ourselves. So this is a very important reminder, not just for women, for men also. Love yourself more,
Yeah.
yourself more. Then only you can have a better mindset and condition to try to love others, right?
Yeah, yeah, just be simple.
Okay, thank you very much, Vivian,
Thank you.
and bye
Okay,
bye.
bye.
So I hope you like what Vivian has shared with us just now, and that you will find your way to take your baby steps and start small so that you can win big eventually. Remember to pursue your own financial freedom. It means different things to different people, and you must find out what does it mean for you. And it's important to always ensure you have emergency fund, because to be free from worries, you must need to know that you have something covering you or backing you up in terms of a challenging time. And also, as we plan for our short-term goal, do remember to also pay attention to your long-term well-being and how to be financially free from worries. So that will covers your retirement goals, to protect your savings and a lot of other things. And Vivian advocates something that I believe everyone should give it a serious thought, and that is, no matter you want to do it yourself or you need someone for help, just ensure that before you do anything, seek for professional opinion. It won't harm if we get a second opinion and that opinion confirm that we are on the right track. But let's just say that we are not on the right track. Having that second opinion will really, really be very valuable, because it helps us to save time, and it may also prevent us making memorable lessons. All right. So I look forward to share more in the future episode. If you want to stay in the loop for the future episodes, do subscribe and click the bell button. Until we meet again, take good care and bye.